Hello and welcome to this Gamification Europe 2024 workshops Q&A. What do you need to know to buy your ticket, to choose which workshop you want to do on the first day? So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the layout, the plan for the day, and the choices available to you. There's been a few questions around how the conference works. Are there workshops happening at the same time as talks? What's going on? So anyway, if you've got any questions, stick them in the chat. Say hi anyway, because I want to see you all soon, and London is too many weeks away. So let's see you in the chat as well throughout this. In essence, actually, who the hell am I? In case you don't know, I'm Pete Baikins. I'm the chair of Gamification Europe. This is the 7th time we've run it. Second time in person since COVID, when we ran it for a couple of times online. And obviously before that, we were running it in person in different places around Europe. We have run a mini event in London before, which was workshop based. And that went really well. So there's an element of that Masterclasses event that we want to recreate within this year's conference. And that's one of the reasons we came along with this idea of one-day masterclasses and workshops on the first day of the conference. Let's get some information up over here. One second. I'll share my screen. And pop that there. Right, what have we got here? We have the agenda for the 2 days of the conference. So quick reprise. Over both days of the conference, we have an exhibition area with some really great organizations showing off their products, their services, their interactive elements. And they're split into like customer experience zone, employee experience zone, learning experience zone, health and well-being, and sustainability. So throughout the event, you can go and visit those, learn more about them, and get gamified if you haven't been already. Okay. Day one of the conference is just workshops. And by workshops, I mean, you've got 3 to choose from, and you have to choose one of those 3. Okay. So that's tough. I want to clone myself and attend all 3. So one of the points of this live stream is to help you choose which one you think is most suitable to you. Okay. But in essence, throughout the day, there's registration and exhibition. So you'd like start off, you'll do a bit of networking, go around some of the stalls and experience some gamification. Then your workshops will start at 10 a.m. Obviously, there'll be a networking break during the morning, as well as a lunch, which will be provided. And then the workshops continue after lunch. And basically, you're doing a full day workshop and getting to visit the exhibition area as well. And if you're coming to both days, then obviously you can come to the exclusive dinner in the evening as well. Okay. Now, one of the reasons we like this approach is you can learn so much in a day. And so what we've done is this event's in London, but all 4 of the facilitators for our workshops are being brought in from across the world. Marigo, we're bringing from Australia, and Michael, we're bringing from the Netherlands. Roman Rackbit, we are bringing from Germany, and Bernardo Latafe from Florida. So, wow. It's the best in the world coming to you. Let me scroll down. This is the website. Obviously, this from. Let me get the chat up, see if anyone's been chatting. Oh, we've got some highs. Hi, Louis. Hi, Yogesh. And we've got, what do we got here? Can you give an example of a problem that was successfully solved in a previous design sprint workshop or could be solved with the workshops? Yeah, I'd definitely do that. I might come back to that question in a minute after I've talked through what they are. Okay, let's just hide that as well. Okay, so should I put me on as well? What I want to do is just make this. And then do this one. I want that one to be bigger than me, but hey, this will be fine. So we got 3 workshops. We've got the gamification design sprint, creating a minimum viable design. So this one is, what can I say? Incredibly practical, very fast paced. I've been through this workshop with Marigo in the past. She has got so much knowledge about gamification. On the website, you can see that we have an interview I did with Marigo about what to expect from this workshop. But in essence, bring your business problem along, and throughout the workshop, you'll work on it and work out how to create a minimum viable design to solve your problem through gamification. And one of the super cool things about this one is she's just spent 4 years working on how to bring AI into your gamification, which is so topical. So there's a definite element around how to bring the AI into your gamification strategy and your sprint. She has amazing props. I don't know what she's bringing exactly this year, although I do know there's a Tiny Robots game, which is about the AI bit. And she's had a designing tiny games game that workshop attendees have used in the past. But I also know last time she ran it, she actually created a whole bunch of gamification design sprint cards. So like these help you be creative. Obviously, there's a bunch of game mechanics, some technology cards, making sure we're focused on the gameplay. What else we got? Even cover the ethics of it, which is important. And there are many of these. Not that you will use them all in the day, but you will find the relevant ones and she would talk you through it. Don't know if she's using those this time. I suspect she will use something. It's been a little while since I had that one demonstrated to me. So let's have a quick look at the main outcomes. The focus of the workshop is to learn some methods on how to rapidly gamify and come up with the ideas around it. Then actually using things like those design cards, maybe even Lego, some art materials to build your gamification prototype. She's going to look at the design elements. So what do you need to know? Which game loops are most effective? What's your design canvas? How are you going to lay it out and choose what to do and prepare your pitch as well. I already mentioned the AI strategy that will come into it. And overall, there's so much knowledge coming from Marigo. Did I mention she's got a PhD in this? With a background as a consultant. So she's this lovely crossover of real world practical applying of gamification skills to in-depth research. She's studied over 100 gamification corporate case studies for her PhD, and has just come out of a 4 years project on basically how to bring AI into gamification. So augmented humans is, I think, the title of that project, which is great, isn't it? Okay, so that is Marigo's workshop. No-brainer. If you've got a business problem you want to solve, come to that. We will also provide business problems if you don't have one, so you can work through it, because it's partly about learning the process. Okay? Now, what have we got? How will participating in these workshops enhance my skills and knowledge in gamification design? Great question, Claire. Great question. And the short answer is they will enhance your knowledge and understanding of gamification, where it's applied, how best to use it, how not to waste time on the wrong game elements and gamification elements, which is something we see in early projects all the time. And there'll be a lot of fun. They'll be very interactive. You will learn by doing in all of these workshops. That's like a core thing for me, is you're not just going to be lectured at. These are hands-on, engaging. You'll come out of it with something that you can use to solve a problem, to take back to your business, whatever it is you want to do. You'll be inspired and have loads of knowledge about how to do it best. Okay, so that's the first one, the gamification design sprint. It's literally what gamification is about. How do we apply gamification to solving our business problem? The second one I want to talk about is from Mihail, his masterclass in escape room design. He has over 20 years of experience in building escape rooms. I just learned the other day that he built an underwater escape room with his team. He's worked and created on building escape rooms in multiple different locations, building escape rooms in a box as well, so you don't even need the room. He's done that for us at a past conference as well. In fact, at the very first conference, he did a Brighton Pier themed escape room for, I think, over 60 of us played it at once, which is amazing. And I'm not really into puzzle solving type games, but I was hooked and I was into it. So that's very much shows you how good he is. He's also done a real mix of games for the wider public. So like your standard escape room you would go to, you and half a dozen friends to solve, and a lot of also in the corporate space. And the interview I did with him the other day, which is on the website, we talk a lot about that and what the outcomes are for businesses and the people in them. A lot obviously around team working and how that works and the behaviors and personalities. A lot happens in the debrief afterwards. Did you see how you played? But also there's some subtleties as well. Like you can put across the company's mission vision through the clues and the environment that you create within the escape room. There's a lot of things you can do with that. So in this workshop, the Masterclass in Escape Room Design, it's a lot of fun because he can't help himself. He makes games. So you'll start off playing an escape room so that you can learn by doing. You'll then get a little bit of talk from him around how it works, how to do it, how to pull it together, and basically 20 years of learning and building escape rooms compressed into about an hour, he says, which I think is going to be a lot to learn. Then in groups, you'll go off and create your own escape rooms. Okay. And so that's learning by doing. It's a lot of fun. And then depending on how much time there is and how many groups we've got going, but you'll definitely get to play some of the other escape rooms that have been created. So the outcomes of that learning is you'll play one, you'll learn the theory, you'll make one, you'll play a bunch of others. You've got all the different learning techniques in there, and it's a whole lot of fun at the same time. So I want to be in that workshop as well as the first one. It's really obvious, isn't it? There's a question in the chat. What are some of the most innovative escape room design elements that participants can expect to learn about in the masterclass? So there'll be some basics as well as innovative, but so key things you need to work out are like balance. How difficult should it be? Should people actually be able to solve it or not? It depends on your outcomes and things like that. And then in terms of innovation, well, different types of puzzle. I can tell you that he's also done a podcast game, so an audio only game, designed really inspired by escape room design as well. So he's got a lot of experience in the different ways you can bring escape rooms to life for different purposes, which if you had multiple days, maybe you'd get all of that knowledge out, but he's going to give you everything you need to build an escape room for your purpose. So whether it's actually you're thinking about creating your own escape room, maybe you're creating an escape room in a box for a relative's party, or special occasion. Maybe you've got a business purpose. You want people to understand how to approach problem as a team, for instance. Then it's recruitment. I think I lost connection for a second there. Hopefully I'm back. There are escape rooms being used in recruitment and things like that. There was one from the Canadian version of like the CIA, GCHQ, where the escape room starts as part of the interview process, and you see how people cope when they're literally locked in a room while disaster is going on around them, to see if they're a good fit for your organization, which I think is great. And there's quite a few around Europe actually now along assessing candidates as well for different situations in warehouses and all sorts of things. So I think Group 4 Security do one in the Netherlands that does that sort of thing as well. So escape rooms, lots of different places you can apply them. They're used a lot in onboarding as well as recruitment. They're used a lot in team building, assessing teams, helping get a new culture across, even sometimes in product launches and putting the learnings across about that new product. And I've seen some around also helping people understand a different audience. So there was a good one out of Egypt, where as you went through the escape room, you lost various senses. So you're understanding disability. So at first you go in, you've got a puzzle to solve. That's great. You've got all your senses. Then the next room, you've lost your sense of sight. So you've got to do blindfolded. Then the next room, you lose your sense of touch, and so on and so forth. That got amazing feedback and really helps people understand another audience. We could go on. So that's the masterclass in escape room design with Mihail. Watch the interview. He tells you much more about it and does it better than I just did as well, I think. And then the third and final workshop is designing meaningful player journeys, merging game mechanics and behavioral science for lasting engagement. I've not interviewed Bernardo and Roman about this yet, although obviously I know them well and I've spoken to them about the workshop. This has come out of one they've been doing together online, and this will be the first time it's ever been done in person. This is a real opportunity for people to get together with this. Let me tell you a bit about Bernardo Lataif and Roman Rakovic. So first of all, Bernardo, amazing track record, came and spoke at our first conference in 2017. His company, Blue Rabbit, which was a gamified learning experience platform, won one of our inaugural awards in the Gamification Awards in 2017. Many thousands of people have been through gamified journeys that Bernardo has created through these platforms. He is amazing at following the data and doing sort of data-driven game mechanics, making sure people get through a journey. They're, real understanding of how to use all the basics, the points, the badges, the leaderboards, but understanding the overall picture of how they sit together so that it actually stays engaging for the long term. So we've got this technical background with teaching and education in it on one side. That's Bernardo. And he lives and breathes gamification and delivers it for, as well as education, other organizations like banks and all sorts of things like that. And then we move across to Roman Rakovic, who was a co-founder of GamVed, like well over a decade ago. So very early adopter of gamification, lectures on gamification at multiple German universities, and has been a practitioner and consultant in the world of gamification for over a decade. He's got so much knowledge, okay, and a really insightful way of looking at gamification. Now, he comes at this very much from the behavioral science, the psychology of it, the fact that we are, as humans, we're not that logical, we're irrational beings, and how do we work that into a gamification project and create real engagement? So we've got the data on one side from Bernardo, we've got the psychology on the other from Roman. Now, I think in many projects they clash, those approaches. People really struggle to get them to go together. But what we've got here is two of the world's best experts showing you how these can merge and meld and help you create the ultimate gamified journey. Now, their workshop is going to help you understand the differences between those two sides. but particularly they'll drill down into how to balance your system between them so that it's most effective, more effective than anything that uses only one or the other. And of course, you'll design and build a prototype ready for testing with your users. Now, more things at least I want to say about this. One is Bernardo has run a workshop for me before for one of our organizations, and he even created, gamifiers love creating decks of cards for things, don't they? This is one of the most useful ones that I've used over the years. Lots of different approaches. And so these cards include like some of the theory behind what makes gamification work, as well as the game mechanics and other goodies like that. Don't know if he's bringing it because they're doing this new workshop, but I can tell you he's got all the knowledge. Roman's got all the knowledge. In fact, I came across Roman's newest podcast earlier this week, the Non-Skinnerian podcast. I highly recommend you give that a listen. I listened to every single episode during this week. I got hooked. He's got a great way of explaining how these things work. Oh, so I didn't show you the outcomes, did I, from the escape room? But I described it, so that's fine. That's good. So we've got Bernardo and Roman with the designing meaningful player journeys. You'll come out of that with a prototype. We've got the gamification design sprint. You'll come out of that with a minimum viable design, otherwise known as prototype. And you've got a masterclass in escape room design, which will come out with a playable prototype. So all three workshops, you end up having built something, having learned something, and you'll definitely come away having learned something. Now, I've got to ask in the chat, which one of these workshops do you think you're most excited by? Which one would you choose? Like I mean, I'm lucky in that I've basically done all of these, but I still will struggle to choose which one to do again and see how they've updated it since I last took part. Yeah, I don't know. Which one do you think you're going to do? While you're thinking about that, stick that in the chat. I think I've got another question. Oh yeah, so nice generic one. What are some quick wins for companies looking to dip their toes into gamification? Well, the quickest win, obviously, is to get a ticket to Gamification Europe and come along and learn what other people have been doing and other organizations, as well as doing the workshops. Day two obviously has the keynotes, panel sessions, and so on. And we've had over 20 speaker submissions with some amazing ideas from around the world. And this week we have chosen to invite some. They've made it through the shortlist process. So in the next week or so, we're going to announce quite a few speakers for the conference days. So keep an eye out for them. There's some people have done a TEDx talk or some other fun stuff as well. These are good speakers with some great ideas, case studies, and obviously they all match with our theme, projects and players, which is about hearing from the users themselves. What happens if you've actually been gamified? What impact does it have? So I like that a lot. So I don't think I really answered this question though, Annie Marie. What are some quick wins for companies looking to dip their toes into gamification? I think it's like pick a problem you're working on, which involves humans. Yeah, it's not there to automate a process. Gamification is about increasing motivation and engagement in something. So for instance, in the learning space, a quick win might be gamify your onboarding for new staff. It's a great place to experiment. It's a great place to help people be productive faster, to learn about their colleagues. There's lots of different ways you can do onboarding. You can do a treasure hunt. It's a great way to get people to explore a new their environment, meet new people. In the employee experience space, there's some great gamification you can do in the recruitment process. There are lots of games to help you choose the right people. I've done a webinar on that before. There's just so many examples out there within that. In probably one of the quickest ways is to launch a gamified marketing campaign. These are quite interesting because they're often not as longer term engagement as some others. In fact, I was chatting to a company yesterday that specializes in 30 to 90-second long engagements for the marketing for their customers. Like they're aiming for just a small but intense engagement to build rapport with the customers and maybe even convert them from prospects to customers, or to buy something new, or just to actually build a bit of brand engagement, through to obviously like the sort of work I like doing is how do we get someone engaged for years on end and keep their change of behavior and keep that change behavior. So like in health gamification, things like that. So dipping their toes in, run a short marketing campaign, send out something interesting and fun, do a fun treasure hunt for onboarding. These are great places to start. And of course, there's a bunch of platforms out there where you can like take a template for a gamification process and then just change your logo in it and make sure it's relevant to your audience. And you can start running and practicing something like that. We've got some answers in the chat. So the first one was definitely up for a design sprint. Let's put that up there. Good choice, Claire. Good choice. Design sprint. And one of our speakers is listening as well. So let's just get Bernardo to say hi. Hi, Bernardo. Very cool. He's very excited. He's very excitable. The passion he'll put through in the workshop is just, you're just going to be buzzing from that. So can't wait to have you in London, Bernardo. I know there was something I wanted to say as well. It's just, oh yeah, probably worth pointing out that there's roughly 24 hours left to get early bird ticket pricing if you want it. So after that, then we start really filling out the agenda with all the speakers, because you're earning your discount at the moment because you're taking a chance. But actually, if you've been paying attention, what you realize is if you buy a ticket for the whole conference and you go for this, any one of these workshops is more valuable as a standalone, and you're getting the whole rest of the conference and the exhibition as a bonus. So choose your workshop and then buy the ticket. And right now it's cheaper. So you got 24 hours to attend, to book onto one of these workshops. When you're buying the ticket, it doesn't actually ask you which workshop you want to choose at the moment. You'll get a message afterwards from the event team behind the scenes just to check which one you want to choose. At the moment, there are places still left on all three, and we're doing it first come, first serve. So if you get your tickets in the next couple of days, you're guaranteed the workshop of your choice, which is good to know, isn't it? Any more things in the chat? Let's have a quick look. Oh, yeah. So we've got... Great question. Do we need to bring any specific materials or equipment to the workshops? And the answer is no. If you bring along a problem you want solved, that would be great. You don't need that. The workshop facilitators have run lots of workshops. They know exactly what they're bringing equipment-wise. I've had a chat with them, all of them, about what they need. And yeah, you don't need to bring any specific materials or equipment. Just bring your sense of fun. Yeah. Be open to a bit of playfulness. Yeah. Oh, actually, Bernardo says you should bring something. Bring your favorite pen and all your energy, and borrow extra energy if you can. Thanks, Bernardo. That's a good one. Okay. I think I have been speaking for nearly half an hour. So I am going to wrap this up in a second. But I just can't wait to see you all in London. Can't wait to see which workshops you choose. And I can't wait to speak to you all during the day and really experience the buzz that I know you'll have from what you're taking part in. And then I think it's going to be fun at the end of the day when you're all chatting to each other and going, no, this my workshop. The one I went to was the best. And then I guess you just have to come back the next year and do another one. Okay. And final comment from a LinkedIn user. Looking forward to it. See you all on the 2nd and the 3rd of December. 2nd of December for the workshops. Have fun. Any questions, just comment on any of our social media and we'll answer it. Okay. See you all soon. Goodbye for now.